You are checking a blown fuse in Tunnel C when every PA speaker in the New York City subway system activates at once. Not a scheduled announcement, not a test. The sound that comes through is not words. It is a tone. Three descending notes, the kind they only use when a train derails or a body is on the track. Except every train has stopped. You can hear it. The vibration that has been under your feet for 11 years is gone. My name is James Harlow. I had a radio, a maintenance key that opens every door in the system, and no exit above 34th Street. This is what I did with the next 48 hours.
The PA stopped after 14 seconds. I counted. I count things. 11 years underground, you start counting because the numbers tell you things the PA doesn't. 14 seconds of that tone meant a level 4 system alert, the kind that's supposed to be followed by an automated voice telling you to evacuate. The voice never came. I left Tunnel C through the maintenance hatch at the south end. The platform was the 34th Street Herald Square station, B and D lines, off-peak hours. Should have had maybe 40, 50 people on the platform. There were 212. I counted those two. All of them looking up. Nobody was looking at each other. That's the thing most people wouldn't notice. In 11 years I've seen fights, cardiac arrests, a woman give birth on the uptown platform. People always look at each other. It's the first thing humans do when something goes wrong, check the faces around them for information. 212 people, and not one of them was looking at another person. They were all looking at the ceiling. I followed their eyes up to the ventilation grate above the center of the platform. Standard maintenance duct, 12 inches by 18. I've been in that duct. I've replaced the fan motor twice. Something was moving inside it. This is the assumption I broke in the first 2 minutes. Most people assume underground is safe. It's the instinct. When the world above goes wrong, you go below. Bunkers, basements, tunnels. But I know what's in these tunnels. I've been alone in them at 3 a.m. with nothing but a flashlight and the sound of my own breathing, and the distant rattle of a train that I know is a train because I know the schedule. I know every scheduled train. I know every unscheduled sound. The thing moving in the ventilation duct was not a rat. Rats move in one direction and then stop. This was moving in both directions, tracking something below it. My radio crackled, dispatch, one sentence. All maintenance personnel do not surface. Repeat, do not surface. That transmission lasted 9 seconds. Then dispatch went silent. I've worked for the MTA for 11 years. Dispatch has never gone silent. The 212 people on the platform heard it. The PA is wired to the maintenance radio frequency during level 4 alerts, standard protocol that nobody who isn't maintenance knows about. 212 people heard, do not surface, and process that information at exactly the speed that crowds always process unexpected information. About 3 seconds. Then they all moved toward the exits at once. I did not move toward the exits. This was not bravery. I want to be clear about that. It was arithmetic. The exits from 34th Street Herald Square are 4 staircases, 2 on the north end, 2 on the south, all feeding onto 6th Avenue and 34th Street above. 212 people moving toward 4 staircases at once means approximately 53 people per staircase. The staircases are 4 feet wide. If whatever is on the surface is dangerous enough that dispatch told us not to surface, and dispatch has never told us anything in the 11 years I've worked this system, then the surface is where I don't want to be. 212 people heading toward the surface. I headed the other direction. The maintenance room I was looking for is not on any map that the public can access. MTA internal documentation calls it Storage Room C7. It's behind a gray steel door at the far south end of the B-Line service tunnel, past the signal relay box, past the dead track where they park disabled trains. The door looks like part of the wall if you don't know it's there. I've been in it 4 times, twice to replace a junction box, once to recover a tool kit someone left there in 2019, and once because I needed somewhere quiet to eat lunch. It is 12 feet by 9 feet. It has a ventilation shaft that draws from a separate duct than the main platform system. And it has something that I did not realize mattered until that moment, a manual bolt lock on the inside. I reached it in 6 minutes. Hour 1. The room is exactly as I remembered it. Maintenance left behinds in storage rooms accumulate over years. I inventoried what I had. 2 gallons of bottled water in a case someone had brought down and never brought back up. 4 protein bars, individually wrapped, expired by 8 months. A first aid kit that I confirmed contained nothing useful except gauze and alcohol wipes. My work bag, radio, extra batteries, electrical tape, a small pry bar, 2 protein bars I'd brought for my shift. A maintenance manual for the B and D line signal relay system, 2019 edition. 1 emergency chemical light stick. This is what I was going to survive on. I'm not going to tell you I felt calm. I'm going to tell you I started making a list, because making a list was the only thing I could do that didn't involve thinking about what I'd heard coming through the ventilation duct on the platform. Hour 6 and something is in the service tunnel. I heard it at 8:14 a.m. Not footsteps, wrong rhythm for footsteps, more like dragging, something being pulled across the concrete floor. 1 heavy drag, then a pause, then another drag, moving slow. I killed my flashlight. The maintenance room has no window. The gap under the door is 3/4 of an inch. I'd measured it once for a different reason, years ago. Now I was on my stomach with my face at that gap, watching the beam of light from the service tunnel. The dragging stopped outside the door. 30 seconds of nothing. Then something pushed against the door from the outside. 1 long, slow push like it was feeling for give. The bolt held. I had my hand on the pry bar. Then it moved on. I didn't breathe for 40 seconds after that. Hour 12. The radio is useless. Not broken. I can hear something on the maintenance frequency. But it's not dispatch. It's a carrier signal, which means someone is transmitting but not speaking, which means someone is alive somewhere in the system with a radio, and they're holding the transmit button without knowing it, and I cannot reach them because I cannot transmit on this frequency without the same signal going through every PA speaker in the 34th Street station. I am 11 years into this job. I know the duct system under Herald Square the way some people know their childhood home. I know which ducts connect to which stations, which ones have enough clearance to crawl, which junctions have manual damper controls. I spent the next 2 hours building something I should not have needed to build. A listening device, electrical tape, a piece of wire from the junction box, and the speaker from the maintenance manual's binding. Apparently some editions come with an audio guide built in, who knew connected to the ventilation duct. It worked better than I expected. Hour 23, I heard a voice. Not through my device. Through the duct directly, faint enough that I thought I was imagining it the first time. A woman saying a name, saying it over and over in a way that meant she was not expecting an answer. I know that sound. My daughter is 7 years old. Her name is Cora. She calls me at 6 p.m. every shift night to tell me about school. I missed that call. I missed it because I was in Tunnel C checking a blown fuse, and now I'm 11 levels underground in a room the size of a parking space, and I don't know if she is above ground or below it. The woman in the duct stopped saying the name after about 4 minutes. I sat in the dark for a long time after that. Then I went back to work, because sitting in the dark helps nobody. Hour 31, someone knocked on the door. 3 knocks, Pause, 2 knocks. The kind of pattern that means a person, not something else. I had a rule. The rule was, I do not open the door. The rule existed because my daughter needs me to be alive in 48 hours when this is over, and opening the door is how I stop being alive. The knocking came again. Then a voice. A woman. She said she'd been in the tunnel for 6 hours. She said she was MTA operations, not maintenance, which meant she didn't have a maintenance key and couldn't get through the service doors. She said she had a satellite communicator, the kind operations supervisors carry, and that she'd managed to reach the surface response team, and that there was a protocol window opening in 16 hours at a specific location 2 stations north. She said she couldn't make it there alone. I sat with my hand on the bolt for about 2 minutes. Then I broke my rule. Hour 47. We made it to 28th Street. I'm not going to tell you how. Some things that happen in tunnels in the dark should stay in tunnels in the dark. What I'll tell you is that the maintenance key opened every door it needed to open, and Alina's SAT communicator connected to the response team at 600 exactly, and the protocol window was real. They told us to hold for extraction, 12 hours. We're holding. I built the listening device again using wire from a different junction box. I'm monitoring the duct system from 23rd Street to 42nd Street. There are 4 people still alive in the tunnel network between those stations. I can hear them. I have 12 hours and a maintenance key that opens every door in the system. My daughter is 7 years old. I'm going back in. If you made it to the end of this transmission, thank you for staying with it. James's story continues if this one finds enough signal. Comment your country below. Every comment is a boost. Every boost means more people hear the signal. Subscribe if you want the next transmission. This is the last signal. Stay underground. Stay quiet. Stay alive.